it will most probably be a Trump-Biden matchup in the US presidential election, and America is not very enthusiastic about it.
Yes. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back again to the Love of Theo channel, and I'm Theo here. And today we want just to talk about, again, we are going back to the United States of America. So this is what is happening. That is in the election and the campaigns all together. I'm just giving you a brief of what is going on in the Democrat. That's now. This is now actually Democrats versus Joe Biden. Not again Democrats versus or Joe Biden versus Donald Trump, rather Republicans versus Democrats. But now this is a game between Democrats and Joe Biden. So what's cooking? So let's watch this video and see what is happening.
What do you look for in a world leader? Good morals, leadership, perhaps agility. Well, ask America and they will tell you that all they want is a coherent president. Joe Biden is 81 years old. He is the candidate of the Democratic Party. This November, he will go up against Donald Trump. And it doesn't look like an easy contest. Biden is fumbling his way through speeches. He's losing donors. The Democrats want him to step down, but the president remains defiant.
I convinced myself of two things. I'm the most qualified person to beat him. I know how to get things done.
If you can be convinced that you cannot defeat Donald Trump, will you stand down?
It depends if the Lord Almighty comes out and tells me that, I might do that.
Only the Lord can make him quit. That's what Joe Biden says, but his party doesn't share those same emotions. Senior Democrats want him to step aside. They have told this to him on a phone call. Reports suggest they were quite explicit about it, that he must go. And while this is happening in private, Democratic donors are making their displeasure public. They're pulling funding. Take Abigail Disney. She is an heiress to the Disney family fortune, and she says that she will withhold donations if Biden does not step down. Other prominent donors also threaten the same. And this can be a game changer because the US elections are all about money. You could argue that all elections are, but this one is especially so. You need funds to campaign, to mobilize voters, to hold rallies. Without funding, campaigning is difficult. And Joe Biden knows that. He's been in the game long enough, yet he refuses to step down. Instead, he's cracking jokes about it.
Folks, I know with every fiber of my being, I know I won't look like I'm 40 years old, but I've been around a little bit. I got my glasses in. But I tell you what, Dark Brandon's coming back. And guess what? The next 120 some days or so, they're going to get a real good look at who Donald Trump is. Folks, with your permission, I'm going to find out whether you have any ice cream. You know, isn't it really dull when you have a president who's known for two things? Ray-Ban sunglasses and chocolate chip ice cream.
Biden is trying to keep the mood light, but even he can't avoid the elephant in the room, and that is his age. Watch this.
At the cross, where
I first saw the light
and the burdens
of my heart.
That was Biden sitting in a trance at a church. Is this man fit enough to lead the Democrats? Well, he certainly thinks so himself. Today, the US president wrote a letter to Democrats, a letter of reassurance, where two things stand out. Biden says that he's running the race till the end and that he's committed to beating Donald Trump. So he thinks that he's the best candidate for the Democrats. But will the polls say the same? Let's look at a CNN poll. It looks at a Biden-Trump matchup. 49% support for Trump, 43% for Biden. So Trump is leading by 6 points here. Now let's look at another poll. It looks at a potential Kamala Harris-Donald Trump matchup. What if they were to contest against each other? 43% back Trump, 42% support Kamala Harris. So it is a near tie, which makes Biden's argument fall flat. He says that he is the only one that can beat Trump, but polls show that his vice president can do better than him. So can he be replaced? There are 119 days till the election, and these are the possible scenarios. The first scenario is this, that Biden steps aside himself, which is unlikely. But if the pressure grows, the US president may do it. And if that happens, it should be relatively easy, because then there'll be a Democratic National Convention, delegates will choose a nominee. The top candidates at this point include Vice President Kamala Harris and California Governor Gavin Newsom. Whoever has more delegates becomes the Democratic nominee. Which brings us to scenario number 2. Biden doesn't want to quit. What happens then? Can he be forced out? Well, it is difficult. It has never happened before in US politics, and the Democrats will have to use a lot of loopholes. Party delegates will have to revolt against Biden to force him to step aside, and then they will have to choose a new nominee. Again, it sounds highly unlikely. So unless there's some sort of a miracle, it will most probably be a Trump-Biden matchup in the US presidential election, and America is not very enthusiastic about it. Look at this comment by Lindsey Graham. He's the senator of South Carolina. Graham says both candidates should take tests, both physical and cognitive. He says this is to show that they're capable to lead the country. It tells you how far the US has come. 2 white men, both more than 75 years of age, threatening to battle it out in a golf course. Sounds like a dark comedy, but it is a reality of America right now.
You can see that Joe Biden is 81 years old. This is an old folk. He's very old man. At some instances in that video, you can see when he was in charge, he doesn't know when to stand, when to sit, what to do next. So he's just very much confused. Now, this is it. Joe Biden is 81. But what he's saying is that, in fact, he's making fun of it. He's saying he looks like he's 40 years old. Wow, 40 years old, Joe Biden. So what reasons does he say he's not quitting? He's the best suitable person in the US. One, he's saying he's the most qualified person in the in America or in Democrats to face Joe Biden. Number 2, he's saying he knows how to get things done. So he's perfect, according to him, not to everyone else. But what the Democrats are saying, they're saying that they're just going to waste this time, is going to lose to Biden, to Trump. So that's a danger, and most of them are worried, especially the investors, those ones who are funding his campaigns. They are so much worried, and they've been calling him all time, telling him, bro, you have to step down. Now it's not your time. The time you can't do this because you are old enough. You are old, and you cannot. Trump will defeat you. So, but for him, he's saying he must continue. So Democrats, once Biden out, they call him all time, all day, and telling him, bro, it's not your time. Just quit. They're telling him to quit. They're pressurizing him to quit. And also Democrats are pulling funding. So most of the Democrats, like Abigail, everywhere in the world, it's very, very hard for you to ascend to that very important political seat or political position without funding. So that means he needs a lot of funding from different people, from investors, from those people who are able, who have their interest. And when you invest in something, specifically when you are investing in a business, when you are investing in any venture, you need to make profits, you need to gain, you need to win, and you need, in this political arena, Joe Biden needs to win for him to attract these investors. But as things stand out, is that he's very weak to win against Trump. Joe Biden to win the trust of his sponsors or the funder, those ones who will be funding the campaigns. Joe Biden has really to convince them. But now, as things stand by now, that people are not willing, the likes of Abigail, they're not willing to invest anymore. They're now opting to withdraw their sponsorship or to withdraw their investments towards funding Joe Biden's campaign. Now, we have only 119 days to go. And since there's a lot of pressure, from Democrats, not even from the Republicans or somebody else, from Democrats, for him to step down, at least to give chance to somebody else to step to become a president, or to compete with Donald Trump. Now, if Biden refuses to quit, because as things stand by right now, Joe Biden is not ready and is not willing even to exit the seat. So what will happen is that Joe Biden is actually the Democrats are going to pile a lot of pressure to him, to try to convince him, to tell him, yo, this is not your time. This time around, you will not make us proud. You will let us down. So for that reason, just quit, and just try to quit. Just quit. And then if it doesn't, I don't know. But for him, for sure, things won't go well with him. He will be beaten by Trump early in the morning, and that's according to me, according to everyone, maybe mostly to everyone, because even the Democrats who have been those cities that Joe Biden or the Democrats have been have been enjoying all those years during elections, they have started pulling themselves slowly leaning towards Republicans. So that is a very big disappointment to some of the Democrats, the disappointment to investors. So what I know with the Americans is that if somebody doesn't want to quit and he insists on doing that, they'll just leave him and continue and maybe shift their support to someone else, or they'll just have to relax. So in Africa, we as Africans, we are trying to look at the scenario whereby we get the presidency, or we witness the second presidency of Donald Trump, and that one is very, very much anticipated, and everybody is expecting that Donald Trump will be the next president if the Democrats just give up with Joe Biden. So Joe Biden will lose terribly. Even the polls show he will lose terribly to Joe Biden, to Trump. So he will lose terribly to Trump. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's my take, that they should just find a way to talk about it and let him understand that it is not his time. And for me, on my part, is like he's taking that part of African leaders. So I don't know what happened to him, that he's not conceding defeat, because if people have said you are not going to win and you insist, that is like you are becoming the Musevenis, the Mugabes, and all those people who have been in power. And I don't know, America has never been like that, because when somebody gets maybe wins, or somebody doesn't win, what happens mostly is that that person concedes defeat and resigns from withdraws his or her candidature because of what is happening, because of the pressure. So let's hopefully Joe Biden will come back to his senses and become an original American who accepts and concedes defeat and gives way for other people to move on. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for watching this video up to this end. If you have not subscribed, please do so, and like even this video, drop a comment and tell me, between the two, whom do you think will win the American election, between Trump and Joe Biden? Thank you so much. Bye bye. See you in the next video. This is my voice.